Hey, what up guys? 2023, just getting the garden up and going. Definitely made some upgrades from last year. If you were with us, I had a couple 2x4s from Grassroots Fabric Pots. Ended up actually moving them over here now. And I just want to say thank you so much to Grassroots for sending us out some new fabric pots. They sent us out the 4x4s right here. Sent us out two more to 4x8s. To really help me expand out the garden, just make it look a lot more beautiful. Really noticing the dramatic differences from growing it in small pots with the small amount of soil, especially here in Colorado where we're a mile high, the water evaporates fairly quickly. You know, it's just really nice to be able to have these larger soil beds that basically just a larger water container. I always talk about this, right? How no chemistry, no enzymatic production happens without water. So it's just so important, and it takes time for the chemistry to happen in the pot. So it's very interesting about how water works, right? Where you wanna add enough water to thoroughly moisten the pots and for the water to just totally be soaking up with all the media in the pots. But then at the same time, you don't want water to be flowing out like how it's flowing out right there, because that's also washing out your chemistry. And so you need enough water to saturate your media, and then you need the water to hang out there for at least 24 hours for the enzymatic production to happen, that chemistry to happen. And then when you re-water, the tricky part is adding enough water so that it, like I said, there's no dry pockets that happen within the pots, but then at the same time you don't want to add enough water to the point where it flushes out the 24 hours of chemistry that the biology has been working so hard to create for you. So watering is very interesting. Once again, very grateful to Grassroots, also to pit moss. Added more pit moss to my soil. Once again, I'm always working on water retention, just to water conservation. Got all my potatoes. I got fingerlings planted right here. Got some white potatoes in my circular pots over here. There's a lot of moisture last year. You know, I'm not just trying to like describe what I'm doing, but if you were here with me last year, you know that I ran into watering problems because I live in a duplex. So there's a watering system on this side of the property, and then we were able to turn off the water on my side, but still the water comes over and it created too much moisture. So I ended up upgrading my pots to the new 30-gallon Grassroots this year with the liners. I spread them out so there's more airflow. I'm going to be putting in my leafy lettuces in this pot and that pot right there. Again, why is that? It's because I'm going to be having sprinklers turning on, and I'm going to be putting up my shields like how I did last year to block out the extra moisture coming onto the potato plants. In addition to that, last year my tomato plants did not do very well toward the end of the year. They actually got into some stem rot, and that was because, once again, the excess moisture, the water would actually, it wasn't level. Because water always finds level, and so what I ended up doing is I pulled all the soil out of here, lifted up the pot, so as you can see now it's nice and level. And now it's just, the water's just not going to be pulling over to the left side right here, causing the environment for pathogens to set in. What am I doing, right? Well, I want to improve from the previous year. That's basically what I'm doing, guys. I took into account any grower that's fortunate enough to be able to keep growing in the same spot should be especially growing outdoors, should be on a year-by-year basis getting familiar with their environment and making subtle steps to improve the grow without it costing too much money. You know, a lot of times we think our problems, because our problems are so big, the cost to solve that problem also has to be that big. And that's not always the case. Sometimes just a little bit of plastic, maybe upgrading the pot, adding some pit moss, doing small things like that. Me, this year, I'm going to trim up this entire tree, allow more airflow to come in, because as you can see, it's starting to get dark and gloomy. I wake up and some of the leaves has fallen into the foliage. I don't want that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to clean things up. I'm going to do what I have to do through the preparation of setting up my garden to set my plants up for success. I'm gonna take into consideration the microenvironments that are going to be happening, and I'm going to avoid my problems. I'm going to be avoiding my problems because I'm going to be taking into consideration what happened the previous year. Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to kind of show you the updated garden, chicken coop. We're going to have an entire chicken run this year. And the goal is to actually take the chicken coop underground, so they lay the eggs underground. I'll be able to open up my window, harvest my eggs. That's the plan. And then they come out. They can also do some up top, but then have the entire chicken run, because I'll be putting in, like, you know, however many eggs hatch. Because I think I have 8 or 9 eggs in the incubator right now. And guys, I've never incubated eggs. I've never done any of this stuff before with the hatching eggs. I'm adding on to my life experience around my farm. I'm just not, okay, I know how to grow pot, I'm good to go. I can now feed my family, right? I can now feel confident that I'm a master grower because I can grow really great pot. You know, I'm now personally, I've been in a garden now literally just about 37 years of my life because of my father. And I'm just literally getting into the importance of our food in just the last 8 years of my life, guys. And I think if you want to stay connected to your soil, connected to your plants, connected to your own soul in some level, I think we need to expand our garden this year beyond just the canna plants. You know, I've been saying the same thing for years now. And as you learn to identify plant deficiencies and toxicities in different plants, you only become more familiar with not just become more familiar, but you fall back in love with one of your passions, and is what I'm doing, is gardening. So, and food. Literally, our family's been now doing this in agriculture roughly, we're getting up to almost 5 decades. And, you know, a lot of people would probably say it's boring, but you just gotta wake up every day and find a way to fall back in love with the things that are familiar to you, whether it's your kids, your wife, your soil, your own personal health, whatever it is. Anyways, have a great grow. Anyways, have a great go, everyone. Anyways, have a great grow. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.